All right, you have put in so much hard work to really get a handle on entrepreneurship, and now it's time for the payoff. We are going to take everything you've learned and turn it into real, tangible assets that are going to help launch your career.
So you've analyzed case studies, you've worked with your team, and you've actually built a full business model canvas from scratch. That is a huge accomplishment, seriously. But the journey doesn't stop there, does it? Let's talk about the crucial next step.
I want you to think of these final activities not as more homework, okay? Think of them as the bridge that connects what you did in the classroom to the professional world. This is where you package all these new skills in a way that employers and partners are going to get immediately. What we're going to do right now is assemble your professional toolkit. And these aren't just documents. No, these are the actual tools you're going to use to market yourself and prove the incredible value that you bring to the table.
We're going to break this down into two really clear, simple phases. First, we'll build the blueprint, the foundational documents that spell out your experience. And then we'll focus on crafting your story, which brings that whole blueprint to life with a narrative that's compelling.
All right, let's dive into part one, your career blueprint. This is where we build your professional foundation. And we're starting with a super powerful resume and a LinkedIn profile that really stands out. The very first tool for our kit is your resume. I mean, this is your professional highlight reel, right? And we're going to make absolutely sure your recent achievements shine. Now, the crucial thing here is to get beyond just listing your tasks. We need to focus on your achievements. Your goal is to write 3 powerful bullet points, and to do that, you got to use strong action verbs that show off the results of your work. Think about what you actually accomplished and the impact you made. Just look at how specific this example is. It doesn't just say worked on a project. No, it says you developed a model for a social enterprise. That immediately tells someone you have skills in problem solving and strategic planning. That's the kind of language that really gets an employer's attention. Okay, let's move on to the second part of our blueprint. We're going to take your work online by updating your LinkedIn profile. You really have to think of it as your digital handshake. It needs to be just as strong and impressive as your resume. So what are the key steps here? Well, first, you're going to add your business model canvas project right there under the project section. And be sure to highlight those in-demand skills like teamwork, communication, and leadership. Then, just write a short, sharp description of what you did, and, this is the most important part, what you learned from the whole experience. With that blueprint locked in, we can now move to part 2, crafting your interview story. This is where we add the color, the context, the personality to all those facts. It's all about getting you ready to talk about your experience with real confidence and passion. Let's start with a little reflection. Just think back on the project for a second. Was it the marketing part, the operations, the finance? Which piece of it really lit you up? And this isn't some random question. It's a huge signpost for you. What you enjoy doing often points directly to where you're going to excel. Tapping into that passion, that's the secret sauce to building a professional story that feels authentic, engaging, and is totally uniquely you. Now, to help structure that story, we're going to use a professional framework called the STAR method. Honestly, this is a total game changer for interviews, for pitches, for networking, you name it. It makes sure your stories are clear, concise, and just incredibly impactful. So here's how it works. You start with the situation, to set the scene. Then, you explain your task. What was your actual goal? Next, you describe the action you took, the specific steps you followed. And finally, you share the result, the outcome of your actions. And hey, here's a pro tip. Always try to quantify that result. If you can use numbers or percentages, do it. That's what makes it stick in someone's mind. And there you have it. Just like that, you've successfully built your professional toolkit. You've got a results-oriented resume, a dynamic LinkedIn profile, and a structured method for telling your story. You are now fully equipped. Your professional story isn't just some idea in your head anymore. It's a polished, compelling narrative that is ready to go. You have the tools and you have the confidence to communicate your value to pretty much anyone. So, you've done the work, you've built the tools, you've crafted the narrative. That really only leaves one question, doesn't it? Who's going to be the first to hear your story?